go to heaven, goats go to hell.
Okay, hey everybody, this is my third installment to my journey through belief. And this is going to cover my my teenage years and maybe even a little bit of my young adulthood. So I still knew that Christianity was wrong. There was no way that Christianity could be right in my mind. And I didn't even really know enough about it, but I just knew that it couldn't be right. There was just too much crap in it that just didn't make sense to me. So I pretty much became agnostic. I think I still called myself an atheist though. But I was instead of a hard atheist, I was an agnostic atheist. Which I actually still am to this day, but not nearly as agnostic as I was then. But anyway, but I still believed in this, like, this psychic stuff and past lives and all that sort of stuff. And somebody told me one time, you believe in something, why not call that something God? And that made sense to me, and I started calling it God. But I don't think I would have considered myself a theist if I knew the definition of what a theist was at that time versus an atheist. I don't think I would have considered myself a theist. I probably would have had some other term like spiritualist or something else. But I started calling that God. Later I stopped it just because the term God just has so much baggage to it. But for a while I was calling it God. And when I was in my late teens, early 20s, I started getting into magic. That's magic with a K. Before I was talking about magic with a C, magic tricks. Magic with a K is, like Wicca, paganism, sort of, you're supposed to be able to manipulate reality, which you can't actually manipulate physical reality, but you can, well, like I said in my questions video, it does work, but it's not magic, at least not supernatural, not even metaphysical, I don't think. So I started getting into that. I sort of flipped around calling myself a Wiccan for a while. I was practicing magic. This was around 99. 1999 was when I bought my first spell book. To be quite honest, I don't really think any of the stuff in there actually worked for me. But some of the stuff that I did do later on did actually work. But anyway, so I started doing that stuff. So I got into Wicca, and Wicca kind of got me into Kabbalah and Gnosticism, which, for those of you that don't know, Gnosticism is a sort of metaphysical version of Christianity. And it's really kind of bizarre. I came into Christianity kind of through the back door, and I don't mean any sexual innuendos by that. In some sense, I called myself, in certain circumstances, I called myself a Christian. In other circumstances, I didn't. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for this. I think I'm going to put a link over there to some videos on my previous channel that I had up. I recorded these, it's in 3 parts because I recorded the video before I started uploading to YouTube, so it was a very long video. But you can watch those if you'd like. It's sort of my view of religion before I actually became an atheist. Very soon before I became an atheist, like within a year or so. But at the end of this chapter and the next chapter will be coming soon. See you later.